Right. I think I'm ready to go. I believe I'm ready to go anyway. That should be enough for us to get going. I'm not sure whether or not Tier 3 have a commentator. Don't think they do. Let's have a look. No, Tier 3 do. Right, so it's hello, Said. Hello, Said. I have been in a rush for the last 20 minutes. Speed is here. Hello, Benny. How's it going? Yeah, I've been in a rush for the last half an hour. Let's see how this turns out. Saeed, how did Tier 4 go? Interesting.
Hello.
Hello, Benny. Oh, you just finished uni. Fair play. I have about a week left for an exam and coursework that I haven't started yet before I finish mine. So I've got I've got my uni still coming up. Hello, Mitchell. I thought you were racing.
I am.
But
don't worry, I'm not gonna stay in here.
That's bad.
I'm not gonna do quali anyways, I might as well watch here.
That's fair, that's fair. I am dead.
To fix my setup. What did you do?
I've just been rushing around for the last 40 minutes. Doing this, that, the other. I looks like Alu's gonna be first one out. I already know so where people are going to be compared to, well, others, considering we saw most of this grid race on Thursday night as well.
Yep.
I love how you
Not
and
all of them made the finish though.
So yeah, that's true. There's a lot that went on in that one particular incident. Yep, that sounds about right.
Yep.
I still haven't actually seen that incident yet.
I just lose it on the exit of turn 1 while Alu and Logan is beside him. Which is just unfortunate, but just takes out Alu and Logan perfectly.
Fair. So, so you and Mildy aren't saying time, I'm assuming, right?
Well, I'm not. Milty said he won't, but it's Milty, so well, if he does, I can't blame him.
Yeah, alright, fair enough. Well, I was going to be the first one out. I assume this is going to be a 28. The real question is, what part of the 28s?
If he doesn't spin.
Yeah, that's also true. Here comes Alu to the line then. First actual lap of qualifying just started to head down the straight towards turn 1. See if he can get this right. Down to second is an interesting choice. Some choose to go second, some choose to go third. That depends on how comfortable you are on the grip on the outside of turn 1. Going through towards turn 3, well, through turn 3 down towards the end of the
Also in
first section.
seconds. I think they're the 4th.
That's an interesting choice. And then this in
very
fifth.
cautious lap, surely.
You would expect it. You would expect it goes through second in this corner and slides a little bit. That's why third might be a little bit advantageous through turn 8 there, and goes through turn 9 now down toward the hairpin and gets a lot of the inside curve. I'm not entirely sure that's a good idea. It looks like Yusuf is having a bit of a mare down towards turn 8. But I was just trying to get out of the way and doing it in the most flagrant way possible. As Alu goes up the hill now, down, into sector 3. 107.5 through the first two. It doesn't look the cleanest of exits out the second to last.
I'm running a setup I haven't used, so yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Interesting.
It's less wings, slightly.
Oh, you're gonna spin out immediately. It's a 29.4 for Alan.
24.
Rigo coming to the line. Bloodwave about to set a lap. Bloodwave 28.3.
3. That's a good banker.
That looks like he's about to go towards the 27s by the end of this. Then even more proof he should be in 2-1.
Starting a lap. Said is on a lap.
Rigo is on medium tyres, however, so I don't think there's going to be an awful lot there.
And the Said... Well, he said here comes speed, well it's a 30.
Surely has to be a mistake or two in that 30.1 for Hallinan as well, as Jack's going to come to the line. 27, 28, 28, 7 is only enough for third, not quite able to beat Samet.
See what his Rebel teammate can do.
Just started a lap, NBMA. So, and Benny's about to do...
Benny with a 38.
Mildred actually followed through on his promise to not set a lap. Jack let MBMA through in the middle, and Saeed, I think, has just had a bit of a mess in turn 8. And now he's going to let Hallinan through, which is pointless. It looks like Big Turns has just started a lap as well. Let's see if he's actually going to... He's using less wings than his opponents this time around, considering he's usually known for his very high wing setups, and, well, it's cost him on a number of occasions, I think, this season.
Just likes turns.
Yeah, it is called Big Turns for a reason.
Exactly.
Also, there's MBMA's lap gone. It was a 107.6, and oh, well, he spat it as well. There you go. That's how you don't do turn 12 and turn 13. That's absolutely how you don't do those two corners. Well, let's have a look at Big Turns right now.
Rigo spun as well, exit turn 1.
Well then. Rigo is doing Rigo things.
He was just driving without using ERS, so... I guess he was a bit of on a race trend.
Also assume he's on medium tyres still then.
Yeah, yes.
Big Turns 107.3.
Big Turns apparently purple middle, apparently. You don't know if that's true.
I don't know if it's true, but he is 0.2 of a second quicker than Alu right now. Alu was a 107.5. Big Turns a 107.3. Going toward the line now. Let's see if his setup's going to help him out this time around. 28, 29, 29.3. No, it's not. Very clearly not as quick in a straight line. Especially to Alu, anyway. What are we looking at in terms of people towards the career?
Said is on a lap.
Yeah.
Looks like on a lap at least. If the camera works.
Go through the hairpin now, and that's just about valid. I'm surprised that even is valid.
And you aborted it.
Yeah, not too surprising. Also, Benny aborted his lap as well.
No.
Big Turns, I'm assuming he's about to go back into the pit. So let's have a look at who's the closest to the line on an out lap now then. Or if anyone's actually on a lap right now.
Well, no, it's a Red Bull, I think.
Yeah, it's a Red Bull. It is not Jack. Benny's decided he...
No, Benny's pitting.
Yeah, Benny's out of fuel.
No, it's Osvaldo.
Yeah, it is Osvaldo.
Takes a cheeky toe. Alonso style. We like it.
Had to, he's got to try something. Needs to help as much help as he can get today. Well, I say that, he's only a tenth behind me on time trial, but that's besides the point.
You might want to over your DRS though, he did that a bit too late there.
And can't decide which gear he wants to be.
Well,
Flip between second and third. Yeah, he flicked between second and third about 5 times to go through that corner. In sixth here.
28.7 is not that bad of a first
he's gone
sector.
deep.
As
He's gone deep.
Deep indeed.
Yeah, no apex there. Has lost a bit of time. Let's see if he hits an apex at any point during the lap. Actually, a decent one there. See if he can catalyze a little bit here. Bear in mind, if we're looking at Alu 107.5 through the first 2 sectors on his banker lap, 29.4. See where Osvaldo matches up to that. Osvaldo's time trial at 28.6. It's 107.4, well. So not as quite as quick as Big Turns, but a little bit quicker than Alu.
Big Turns lost quite a bit in the final. Possibly with a high downforce setup then. But...
The classic Big Turn style of a high downforce setup. And Osvaldo to the line has also lost a couple of attempts on where Alu was as well. Right. 29.5, a whole second slower than his time trial time. Also, someone else just... I was about to say that. Someone else just set a time there.
Alu to the line.
28.9. See what the Mercedes is doing.
Yeah.
106.8 and his board lap, yeah.
And it's Jack, who is improving on his first sector time.
Yeah, about a 10th at the moment. A 10th would take him up to second. It would get him absolutely nowhere near Bloodwave, but...
Still a 10th.
Oh, he just about kept that valid as well. I'm surprised he was able to there. A little bit slide on the exit of 13.
Well, he did a 28.3 early in practice, so he can do it.
And he's not going to do it here.
He's not going to do it now, but...
It's a 28.4 though. So we gained a lot in that third sector. MBMA 130.1.
11th.
Can I just say how close Hallinan, Saeed and MBMA actually are?
Within 200ths of a second. That sounds about right.
As Hallinan's about to come to the line to start a lap here by the looks of things. Yep. Same with Rigo.
No, it's Bloodwave. We're
validated. Oh, it's Bloodwave. Fair enough. It was actually gone into the pits, so no need to worry about that Ferrari anymore. As Benny's also coming to the line now as well. Is he on an outlap? Or is he... Yeah, he is...
Outlap.
On an outlap going for it.
Everyone on an outlap. Yusuf on an in-lap. So is Aldo.
Take a pretty good look. Get the pretty good look at who is and who isn't going for it here. There's also a Mercedes having a bit of a problem. I think that's Samet actually in turn... Well, I think that's 11 up the hill? Yeah. Turn 11/12 going up the hill.
Looks like starting his lap.
Yeah, Hallinan halfway through his. Let's see what he can do in sector 2. Bear in mind, still looking around. Well, he's looking to improve on his 0.7. Well, 7 point something in the first time round. He's actually going to 7.4. So he's 3 attempts up.
3 attempts a nerd. Yeah.
That would be enough to move him 1 position up above Benny, who's currently behind him, and Albert out the lap. The yellow flag's behind him. That couldn't have been more well-timed if it tried. That's Hallinan to the line now, 28, 29, 29.5.
Just about.
Yeah, just lower than Osvaldo. Benny's spun out his lap. So, West London is on a outlap. So let's have a look at what Big Turns is doing right now. Is he going up the hill? 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.71. Currently a 10th and a half. That's only enough to move him closer to Alu and not ahead of him. As he's going to get his teammate. His teammate at toe down the straight.
Didn't do much though. Like, I don't know, half a 10th maybe.
Maybe would have been a decent one to go down.
Could be enough for position.
No, it's not. It only did 200ths of a second for Big Turns there. Who's suffering from a little bit of high downforce. Just a small amount. As Rigo's finally gone on to soft tyres.
And to the line.
Does a 28.41.
He gets close, but not enough.
Bearing in mind that Bobber's not racing today.
Yeah.
If Rigo wins this race, and gets the 26 points, we have to look back to last week's final corner, because that is what would have put the nail in the coffin. It has done. But if he wins and gets the fastest lap today, he would have won the title without that mistake. So,
then
might
surely
be
both
rooting
of
for
them
that.
driven if that didn't happen. So
but we're dealing with what ifs. We're dealing with what ifs. You know, we can deal with what's put in front of us, and what's put in front of us is a driving
West
Ferrari and a
West London goes very wide.
yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, in fact, in sector 3, I think that might be big turns
Benny.
without.
What are you doing, Benny?
I think Big Turns has run out of fuel, by the way. West London's come back. Oh, that big... No, Big Turns is back into the pits, and I think West London either aborted his lap or has decided to try to go again in a minute. Nope, he's coming in, so he's aborted it altogether. Benny's invalidated. Hallinan... Is Hallinan going for it? I can't tell.
I can't tell either.
I'm not
think he
entirely
is.
sure.
Well, let's just think he is, because the Ferrari's not on lap, so... And the
Yeah,
Red
his
Bull
Ferrari's
also
about to
isn't.
go on one, though. Let's have a look. He's going to go up the hill. He was doing a 7.4 last time. It actually looks like he's going for it. He is going for it. He's just shy of 2 tenths clear, so... Looking for a position on Osvaldo. Yeah, he needs to get... Well, he's looking for position on Osvaldo, and that's pretty much it from here, unless he's going to put in a shift to get... Big Turns currently 7th, and he's not with that. Not with that final corner. He's not.
Definitely not.
Yeah, he's not even quicker. That's
3 tenths slower than his previous lap. 3 tenths, 3 thousandths.
That's a bad mistake.
Right, what can Bloodwave do in the first sector?
It looked like he's
Will
doing
improve.
a 28.3,
Will
which is
improve.
just shy of
Almost
2
2
tenths. Yep. Bear in mind the rest of the grid are starting to pour off of their outlaps now, so this is effectively well, it's effectively it. Osvaldo has decided he didn't like turn 3 and has spun out of it.
Yeah.
West London is out of the
Bloodwave
section
shoots
entirely
it
without a
through
time.
the downhill corner.
Well, Mitchell, you gained a position
At least
without
it looked
actually
like
doing
it.
anything.
Hey.
West London didn't say can stop Bloodwave here either. Also, Jack is
Will it
about
be
to
my
start.
time?
I think Jack's about to start a lap as well. Benny's out. Benny didn't get out in time.
Right. Bloodwave to the line. 27.
27.9, he's
Just
done it.
about.
He's done it.
Didn't beat me though. Haha. Still very good time. Very good time.
Yeah, it is.
Right, who's next?
27.9.
Simon.
Jack is the next one on a lap, I'm pretty sure.
Never mind.
Everyone else, I believe, is setting up and sorting themselves out. Well, Benny did 29.7, and I assume after, well, his uni done, so I assume it's just he's driving for the sake of driving and probably going out for a night out afterwards. If uni's just been finished, I know I would be.
Improving so far.
No, he's
True.
currently 3rd, but I don't think there's a lot he can do to bring against Bloodwave and Rigo here. May get a 10th, but I think the 2 Ferraris will outdo him if that's the case.
You would think so. I highly doubt Jack is even improving. Does that look like a...
No, he isn't.
Yeah.
He isn't. He's slow. He's not as quick as his last lap. But also,
That's
there's
a
a Ferrari out.
spun. That's Rigo. Well, Rigo's done then.
Well, there you go. Wait, he may still be recovering from last night. Alright, I got the wrong day. Okay. I had a funny feeling it would be that,
Jack
but I got the wrong day.
Pitts.
Jack Pitts, yeah.
Right.
So Jack has called it a day there,
Simon
but
is
will follow him in
improving,
as well.
Simon might be close to both Rigo and Jack.
Yeah. Bloodwave, you might well wave the checkered flag for Bloodwave. He's on pole. We get to, we can barely see the curbs. Oh, he's so hangover. As we see Samet
Hang
to
on,
the
who is
line,
this?
27,
So I know when to watch out.
28-4, he's beaten Jack, but not beaten Rigo. It's Benny in 10th that's
Okay.
recovering from a night out. He'll be...
I'll watch out.
Gonna be a scary turn 1. Benny's gonna wipe out off the grid.
Yusuf might also be close to both Jack, Samet and Rigo with all his 2 times on his
MBMA able to get 9th. Yusuf to the line, 2 times to the moment. 28-5 is not enough.
Close, but not enough.
Rigo span and pit, so big turns is the last one. Well, and Saeed actually, who's 5 times up right now and is only 10th. And big turns has done enough, only just shy of Alu.
Right.
And that's your grid. Benny's 12th, so he starts alongside of you. Enjoy. Enjoy it, so might see you again after turn 1.
I'll be last off the start anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Alright, bye.
In a bit. And that leaves me in the grid, well, in the cons alone, and you're stuck with me for the race. There you go. Time to beat 27.9. Didn't get beat. Rigo somehow stayed second despite the worst second run I think he could have had. And a third for that matter as well. Samet was, well, he's third. Just beats out Jack. They both start on the second row. Both setting 0.4s as well. They're thereabouts with Rigo. And you got Yusuf with a 0.5, just in the 0.5s. Almost catching up to the 3 in front. This might be a nice little tussle of 4. Alu in 6th. Further 3 tenths back. Big turns half a tenth back on Alu in 7th. Oswaldo into the 29s in 8th. I believe we also got a couple of other guys that set times. I think it was Hallinan and MBMA. Saeed as well, actually. All 3 setting times further back. And then you got the 4 that ended off out of qualifying. West London without a time. Millsy and Mitchell should be through the pack within, well, very easily. And Benny, who's apparently driving without the ability to see through alcohol. So turn 1 could be interesting. I'm surprised Benny was actually able to do a lap if he's that hungover. We got a about 11 seconds-ish between now and the start of the race. Looks like we're pretty much ready to go. Got a formation lap to start with. It looks like all underway for the formation lap. Right, here we go. Formation lap underway. Let's have a look at what tyres people are on. Bloodwave. Actually, most of the top 10 opts for the medium tyres, which is an interesting strategy when the hard to medium is obviously better. I guess they're all just banking on an early safety car like they got on Thursday night. Well, some of them, the ones that raced got on Thursday night. So you've got Rigo, Bloodwave, Samet, all on the medium tyres to start off. You've got Jack in 4th on the hards. Yusuf in 5th on the mediums. 4 of the top 5 starting on the yellow tyre. And then you've got Alu on hards in 6. Big turns on Eduardo MBMA, the 3 following, all on the medium tyre as well. Which means 7 of 15. Well, it's pretty much half the grid. Starts on the mediums, so it's split down the middle. 7 on mediums, 8 on the hards. You've got everyone behind MBMA starting on that hard tyre. And it looks like Bloodwave has decided he doesn't like warm tyres. I don't think Rigo does either, because they're starting to get to the line, and Samet is down towards turn 13, so I'm not entirely sure whether that was a smart decision or not. Two Ferraris not really caring about... Oh, Bloodwave jumped his grid spot, which is great. So now I can't actually go onto his point of view down the start. So incredible. Ferrari's having a nice time. Rigo gets it pretty well. Samet decided to do a burnout and span. Jack about to head to his grid spot. Same with Yusuf. Alu and Big Turn's also trying to do burnouts. We head down the grid. Alu there, Big Turn's also following in. You've got Oswaldo, MBMA and Saeed. And Helen following on as well. They all try to set themselves up. I'm going to get an awful camera angle. We wait on the Aston Martin to sort himself out. Mildy holding up possessions as always. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Who's going to get a better start here? It looks like... Well, it's not Rigo that's got a better start. Samet's got a flying start, but he's not going to be able to catch Bloodwave into turn 1. Yusuf up into third. Rigo in fourth. Well, a bunch of things happening here in the Alfa Romeo. I think that actually, no, the Ferrari had to back out of a freeway split there. And oh, we've got two off the track already. Helen and MBMA have collided and off in turn 3. You've got Rigo and Jack. Rigo up the inside of Jack has done very well there as well. Jack on the hard tyres, not able to hold that position. You've got a fight further back. Alu has got off the track as Big Turd goes past. And Alu drops to the back now. Well, the back of everyone that isn't Helen and MBMA who crashed off turn 3. Mitchell already in 8th as... Well, that's not exactly much to expect. Someone in a higher tier dropping down for a race is... Well, someone in a higher tier that's won 3 straight titles in a higher tier, shall I add. In tier 2 should be a relatively easy night for him. Despite starting from the back. Bloodwave not able to get a big gap on Samet, who has 9 tenths of a second, sorry, to Yusuf in third, and further 5 and 6 and 6 tenths back to Rigo and 5 to Jack. We head through turn 13, the first lap. Looks like Alu has managed to hold himself on the back. Saeed, the tier 4 runner-up at the moment, just losing pace and not really getting an awful lot done there on the hard tyre. And overtaken by Alu on the inside of the final corner. Alu trying to fight his way back up after going off the track at the end of the first sector. Lost a bunch of positions with it. Mitchell going after Oswaldo. This could end up being fun. Also, Bloodwave almost a second out in the lead. It doesn't look like we've got an awful lot going on right now. Everyone's split fairly evenly. Just going over something that had been left at my house recently. It looked like nothing realistically happened in that period of time. We're still on lap 2, no DRS yet. Well, pretty much split into 2 trains already. Oh well, apart from out up front, because you've got Bloodwave a second clear of Samet, who's a second clear of Yusuf, so DRS is not going to come into to play, I don't think. Well, it's not going to play a lot at the moment, especially at the front. Yusuf actually getting back within about 7 tenths of a second and of Samet in second. Bloodwave setting the fastest lap of the race so far on the medium tyre. Mitchell against Oswaldo. Oswaldo trying to stop Mitchell getting a tow. Mitchell, the closest on the track right now, going after Oswaldo. Oh, looks to bait him into the inside goes Mitchell, and they've come together. But the inside line for turn 2 is Oswaldo's, and Mitchell's going to have to back out. I don't think Mitchell's holding that. Mitchell is not going to hold that. Oswaldo does just about enough to hold it together. And now Mitchell's going to try and go the long way and switch back attempt on Oswaldo. This could be brilliant. He doesn't pull it off. Mitchell just forced to sit behind Oswaldo for a little while longer, who gets a little bit squirrely down the hill, and Mitchell literally pushing him through the corner. It looks like everyone's losing a little bit of time to each other at the moment. A little bit of a stalemate going on within the trains. And, well, going through into Sector 3 now is about 3 tenths between Mitchell and Oswaldo. It's about as much as it was last time. The difference is Mitchell has to use the DRS down the straight this time. Not this one, but the next one. And he's going to close in until that point. Yellow flag is set to 2 and 3, and that's Hallinan gone round. I don't think it's enough to cause a safety car, though. It's not. And Mitchell's going to get Oswaldo fairly quickly, and it just about took till DRS was involved for him to get him. Millsy versus West London, they both have it. And Millsy is going to be able to get that done just about. And the train is still ongoing here. Oswaldo just about losing out in the end. And, well, Oswaldo going after Mitchell again. Here comes Mitchell. He blocks it off. Oswaldo not going to be able to get that move done, and Mitchell could start to break away a little bit now. Oswaldo lost a little bit through those last couple of corners as well. Now 5 tenths as he's got Benny right up to the back of him. Also a little bit of a mistake from West London back there. Allows for Alu to go on through. Saeed on the back of this pack. It looks like Alu versus Millsy is, well, this ended horribly on Thursday night. It might end up horribly again. Mitchell gained 7.5 tenths on the lap so far against Oswaldo. He's just about holding off Benny as we go along. Yusuf 4 tenths of a second behind Samet. Samet 1.8 off the back of Bloodwave as we got miniature trains forming in the in the front, shall I say, of this race. Mitchell clearing Oswaldo now. He's over the second mark. Oswaldo now going to have to do some defending from Benny instead of looking forward. It looked like Yusuf just got Samet, actually. Yusuf did get Samet into turn 1. And the Alfa Romeo up into second. Pretty nicely done. And now they've got a long way to go, but they've got to catch right back up to the back of that Ferrari who currently leads the race. Rigo just outside of that DRS on Samet right now, sitting in 4th. If, as we said in qualifying, if Rigo was to win this race, and by some miracle also get the fastest lap off Bloodwave as well, then last week's mistake on the final corner would, well, it would be him shooting himself in the foot, realistically, because that was not a forced mistake by Boba at all. Boba, whilst trying to go to the outside, didn't really force a move, didn't really look to win the race either. Made Rigo make the mistake, spun into the wall in the final corner, and that could come back to bite him if Rigo was to pick up the full points today. Honestly, if I'm Rigo, I'm fine with not picking up the full points today. It would be less painful. Looks like Oswaldo cleared Benny somehow. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. That was 4 tenths the last time I saw it. It looks like Benny's going to have to defend from Millsy now then, if that's the case, because Millsy's right on his rear and possibly looking to make a move now. Jack's going to be able to defend further up from big turns as they go into turn 1, fighting for 5th and 6th. Millsy able to, Millsy held off by Benny at the moment. Benny trying to close his way back towards Oswaldo. Doesn't get DRS this time. It's 9 tenths now though, so if he can hold it until turn 10, he should get the DRS back. Looks like Samet is going after Yusuf as well. Those two fighting, and Bloodwave just reaping the rewards from it. Benny is going to hold it until turn 10. It looks like we're going to go through another round of... Actually, what's happened to Summit here? Summit gets overtaken by Rigo down the straight. I didn't even realised Rigo was that close to him, and he's brought, well, an entire second's worth of a gap. Harry can respond. He's currently in DRS. Needs to hunt down the Alfa Romeo. Hallinen's left the session, currently in 15th. Doesn't make an awful lot of difference. Millsy also looking at the back of a Red Bull. And we go down the straight. Should be fairly easy work for the Aston Martin here, I think. It looks like, well, actually, also, Benny got Eduardo's DRS, and I think that might be enough to save him. And they're both going to go side by side down towards turn 1. Benny got the inside at turn 1. Millsy got the inside at turn 2, and that's actually going to be Millsy's corner as a result. You need to be on the outside of turn 1, and here comes Alu, who's maybe looking to make at least a single move. He does get the move done on Benny as well, as Benny probably being a little bit cautious until then. It sends it through the chicane, and they've come together. It's only enough for Alu to eventually get past. A little bit of a tap there from Benny in return. It looked like it's bought Millsy a little bit of a gap as well. But we still have a little bit of a train falling for, well, going on from 8th onwards. Osvaldo currently at the head of that train. A little bit of a train forming at the front as well. Rigo closing in to Yusuf at the moment. Whether or not Rigo is going to be able to do anything against Yusuf, who's still about 2.1 off the back of Bloodwave. We'll wait and see. It's not even like there's a tyre difference as well, so it's not really like anyone has the advantage over anyone. Well, outside of Bloodwave being the one with the advantage at the moment, being in the lead of this race. Big Turns and fighting for 5th, but outside of the DRS as well. Now might be liable to an attack from Mitchell at some point. Osvaldo to Millsy behind. 0.3 of a second split those two, and it's not going to happen for Millsy into turn 1, and it probably isn't going to happen into turn 4 either. It isn't going to happen into turn 4. 4 seconds splitting Mitchell and Osvaldo at the moment. Rigo losing time in the corners, but gaining it back on the straight. See how well everyone's able to catch up at the front. Samet currently about 0.3 of a second, or was 0.3 of a second at the time I started speaking. Now 0.5 split them as the train for second continues on, and it's only gaining bigger advantage for Bloodwave at the front, who's now 2.4 seconds in the lead. Mitchell still fighting with Big Turns, who's just about holding him off for now until Mitchell inevitably gets it down the straight. Also, same for Millsy. It shouldn't be too long before he gets Osvaldo. They're going to watch Big Turns versus Mitchell now, actually. They go through the final corner. Mitchell's got a run. How big of a run has he got, though? It's 0.2 of a second. It's a little bit closing in. Now the DRS is in full effect. Rigo got Yusuf at the front. Mitchell's got Big Turns in the middle. And, well then, into turn 1. Mitchell currently in 6th. Millsy able to get past, well, almost past Osvaldo. He's going to try to use the same trick on the inside line, but Osvaldo, and oh my god, it's Millsy and Dalu again! We saw it on Thursday. We've seen it again tonight. Every single time. They just come together at Bahrain. It's like they have a magnet in their cars to each other. Osvaldo doing just about enough to hold Millsy off, and Millsy could not react to Alu as well. The collision between the two, and I can imagine it's not going to go down too well in chat, as Alu has also spun off in the chicane as well, and he's still doing that, and he's donutting now. I feel sorry for Alu. race ended on Thursday after that's a mistake through turn 2 and then turn 3, and it's effectively game over for him through turn 2 and 3 again on the Sunday night. The two just have a magnet. The yellow flag in sector 2. I think Alu's gone again. Alu has gone again. I don't know at this point. Not sure if I'm Alu, it's worth continuing. Especially if I'm spinning that much. Yusuf still following the back of Rigo's 2.9 seconds off the back now. Yeah, I think that's it for Alu. I think that's it for Alu. His car just will not get going again to the tyres. Lighting up the rears at the moment, and probably the fronts as well with the donuts. Still Alu going, and I think Alu is gone off again. Oh, there goes Yusuf into the wall at turn 8. It's just not as bad as Ishmael's stunt into the wall on Thursday. That brought out a safety car. And today, that's not going to be the case. Yusuf drops from from 3rd all the way down to 9th. Benny goes past. And Benny's gone round. I think Benny's gone round as well. Benny has gone round to the hairpin and all over the place. I think Alu is definitely going to retire in the pit lane here. Multiple spins in the last couple of corners. Alu speeding into the pit lane, and I assume he's done as well. That is the end of Alu's racing for tonight. I think that's the end of Alu's racing actually for the F1 game. Maybe fortune's turn for the better in the next one. Yusuf trying to get back as well though now, as everyone is slowly starting to figure things out. Here comes Mitchell and Jack. Mitchell down the inside for 4th position, gets it done. Yusuf with the DRS in turn 1. Goes extremely deep there against Osvaldo. It goes off the track. And I think Osvaldo's going to hold on as a result. He is, and I think West London might be looking for a shot as well. West London tried it and didn't look good. Well, doesn't make much of it. Here comes Yusuf against Osvaldo. Had to take evasive action to avoid Osvaldo here. Oh, and they've come together through the chicane. A little bit of tap to the back. Luckily, neither spins. Here comes Yusuf, the long way round on Osvaldo. That would have been impressive. But it's going to allow for West London up the inside. Takes advantage of an overzealous Yusuf. Thinks he's got some pace here, and he spun it just before the hairpin. I'm not entirely sure if there was contact, but he span it and picked up 3 seconds for corner cone, which might be a little bit unfair. Benny versus Yusuf. I think Benny's going to win that. They're going to go side by side up the hill. Benny is going to win that. Just about. West London versus Osvaldo, the next fight we will have on this grid. It's going to be close enough. Probably to use DRS to get by. Bloodwave now in the pit after 11 laps on the medium tyre. Doesn't get the early safety car like he did on Thursday, so that's no help. Mitchell currently setting the fastest lap. And Big Ten goes into the pits as well. Here's Osvaldo going. Osvaldo is not going. Yellow flag in sector 2 is Hallinan, who's gone round. Here comes West London on Osvaldo. He's going to go the long way round West London. Is he going to do better than Yusuf on the prior lap? He isn't going to do better than Yusuf on the prior lap. Osvaldo doing just about enough to defend it again up until he gets, well, West London gets the DRS. Well, wait, West London doesn't get an awful lot of DRS if he did at all. And Osvaldo has actually done the job. Somehow, for an extra lap, Osvaldo has held off West London. It's pretty good defending. And he's going to try the same move that Yusuf did the prior lap. And it's not going to work out, but he doesn't have an overzealous streak to him. Well, I say that as I described the move from Yusuf the prior lap as overzealous, but he doesn't have a car on the inside, sorry, that could take advantage of the overzealous move. So West London is going to be the one that gets a straight shot. Osvaldo again on the next lap. Hallinan retiring out of the session. We've got Saeed on the back here. Same with Benny. trying to follow one. Yusuf on the back of that. Got a 5-way train at the moment. Pits now for Rigo and for Sammy. A lap later than what happened for Bloodwave and for Big Turns as we go down towards the pit lane now. In comes Osvaldo. West London clips him on the way past and damages his front wing. Oh, that's why you don't get too clever. He has got way too clever, and there goes Saeed down the inside. And same with Benny, and I think Yusuf might be able to do the same as well. West London got too clever for Osvaldo, who was going into the pits, may have broke as well. Try and meet the 50-mile-an-hour limit. West London got too close, tried to... Well, last second decision to come out, hits his wing. And that might be the end of West London's race. It's actually had some premise to it if he could have got past Osvaldo. And now Mitchell, Jack, Saeed and Benny, the front four. The other two, well, the two in the lead right now, getting a lot more of an advantage. Milty and Bloodwave both going past West London on the straight there. West London's just going to start falling back from as long as it goes. It looks like Bloodwave's going to try and chase down Yusuf as well. Yusuf shouldn't be too far away from pitting. Benny still 4 times per second behind Saeed. We've got a while to go before they start pitting though. In comes Yusuf, there you go. Him and MBMA, the only two left on the medium tyre that didn't pit, and West London also going to come in to try and fix his tyre problem. Here comes Benny on Saeed. Benny on the inside against Saeed, and Benny, nice move, and holds him off as well. He has done through turn 1 and 2, and I think that might be too big of a gap for Saeed to respond into turn 4. Yep, and it is those two both come into pit, sort their tyres out. Yusuf also came into the pit on the prior lap as well. It looked like the only battle now we've got two actually. Mildy versus Bloodwave, Saeed versus Benny. Albeit I think Benny might end up winning this one. Yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's West London. That is West London, who spinned it off turn 2. Just makes it a whole lot worse for himself. Make one mistake and it's amplified by many others. It's not good news at all for West London, who's probably going to be routed to the back of the pack for the rest of the race now. Mitchell and Jack 14 seconds up the road from Benny, and looking to come up come out around about where Mildy and Bloodwave are at this point in time, and no pits here for Saeed. Benny didn't pit either, so he just tried to fake him and tried to break the toe as well. So we've gone about 15 laps, so on to lap 15 now actually, as we've still got the train flowing right now between Benny, Saeed and Bloodwave. Bloodwave shouldn't be too far away from Saeed, maybe looking for a move sooner rather than later. Bearing in mind, Mitchell and Jack both will be on the medium tyres to end this. So the more Bloodwave gets held up here, the better it is for those guys. They're currently on hard tyres, and then we'll be on the quicker mediums at the end of this. And it looks like Saeed's just about holding on against Bloodwave right now as they go through into the hairpin, and Bloodwave's tapped him! Bloodwave just carelessly into the back of Saeed, and gets it all wrong, sends Saeed round. It's allowed for Mildy to get back into Bloodwave's DRS, and that was, I think Bloodwave could do a lot better than that going into the pits. Come Jack and Mitchell now. But I feel like that the Bloodwave should have done a lot better with what they was handed there. In comes Mitchell, in comes Jack. They're both on the medium tyres now. Mitchell just out in front of Jack. These two been back and forth the entire time. Here comes Bloodwave down the straight, who's not actually going to be that far in front of Mitchell, I don't think. Saeed also out, and Mitchell gets out in front of Rigo. That's not good news for the Ferrari. And, well, the Ferrari was P2 before the pit stop, so that, I guess, puts Mitchell up into P2 now. And Mitchell has 5 seconds to gain and a medium tyre to do it on. A little bit cold. Rigo going for it. Rigo's going to have to back out of this. Yeah, Rigo not able to get Mitchell there at all. Mitchell holding on the cold tyres. Samet also now in 4th, just outside of the podium places. He's going to fight with Jack for that pleasure. And also Rigo will probably get pulled into the fight with Jack sooner rather than later. Here comes Mitchell versus Rigo. Rigo's going to have DRS. Mitchell probably has enough to hold on for a little bit longer. He's going to have to find some rhythm in those medium tyres quickly before Rigo's able to charge him down on the straight. And also Benny versus Bloodwave, as Bloodwave currently stuck behind the Red Bull, who's for some reason pulled off to the side actually to break the toe. I thought he would let him by. This would have been a bit sketchy. As here comes... Yep, here comes Benny into the pits. So Bloodwave gets DRS, but no toe. Saeed also comes into the pits, so it's clear daylight ahead for Mitchell, as he now has, well, effectively 12 laps to charge down the Ferrari in first. Mitchell from 13th to first. Bloodwave and Rigo both should have been tier 1 this season regardless. Saeed drops a few positions now as well. Oh, and there goes Rigo! In typical Rigo fashion. Binning it when he had a prominent position. He could have been on the podium again. Albeit it means nothing at this point, because Boba won last week. He's expanded, and that's going to allow for Jack and Samet to go at each other. Well, go past at the very least. And that battle's pretty much ended as well. It looks like Mitchell and Jack are going to be clear to have a go at Bloodwave, who's lost 4/10 of a second on the lap to Mitchell, who's currently second. Big Turn still in 6th, and feels like he's been in 6th for eternity. But as Mitchell's up 33%, Bloodwave just a little bit more. Jack up toward the 45%. And Samet roughly about where Mitchell is. And Jack sets the fastest lap of the entire race so far. Honestly, if I'm Rigo, this is probably better. It means it's a little bit less pain in terms of what could have been. It looks like Benny versus Mildy versus Eduardo at the back here. Well, actually no, it's versus Yusuf, sorry. One car too far forward. Eduardo trying to tack himself onto the back of that fight, actually. And he's got to do so. He's doing pretty well for himself right now, Eduardo. He's had a good day. His place doesn't reflect that. But he's had a decent day, especially defending so far. He's had his work cut out for him. He's met him every way. It looks like Benny's just a little bit too far back off Yusuf, but Yusuf has a 3-second time penalty. It'll drop him all the way back behind Eduardo, at the very least. Maybe behind Saeed as well. Mitchell cutting out another half-second in that Bloodwave gap, and the longer we go, the less likely it looks like Bloodwave's going to win. Jack, 2.3 seconds further back, and actually he's to the same distance away from Mitchell as he is from Samet now. Benny currently 0.8 of a second quicker than his fastest lap, with a charging Aston Martin behind him. I don't think he's going to be able to get anything higher than where Yusuf is, to split into 2, oh well, maybe into 3 packs at the moment. safety car would be interesting from here. Benny isn't going to be able to get anything with the DRS down into turn 1. Nope. He's going to have to sit behind Yusuf for a slight bit longer. He also doesn't have enough ERS, sorry. Neither does Millsy to try and charge Yusuf down that way. So they're now relying on that open rear wing, and it's not doing them an awful lot of favour so far. Oswaldo versus Saeed a little bit further back, and Oswaldo goes deep, invites Saeed along. Saeed's going to be on the inside but backs out wisely against Oswaldo, who's been a defensive stalwart today. A stalwart, sorry. Against basically everyone he's driven against today. Been outstanding. Mitchell now within 3 seconds of Bloodwave. That gap being eaten into as we go lap on lap, and it shouldn't be too long before Mitchell has a go at Bloodwave. At this rate, it's about half a second a lap. Bloodwave cannot afford to keep doing that. Big Turn's also going after Rigo, now within DRS, or was within DRS for a split second. I don't think he's going to have it as we go down the straight. 1.1 seconds. Actually, he is going to have it. The detection before the corner, never mind. And it's going to help him charge the gap down a little bit, maybe back within a second. If he can get turn 1 right anyway, especially against Rigo, he doesn't. He loses 0.2 of a second. Any sort of resolve Big Turns may have had to try and get Rico up into 5th may have just been whittled away. Same for, well, Benny's closing in on Yusuf, but again, not close enough. Yellow flag in sector 1 is Saeed and Oswaldo, who have come together. And now they're back beside West London and MBMA, so those two won't feel lonely. Oswaldo's got no front wing. Saeed has a damaged front wing. So West London and MBMA should be able to breeze by. That is unfortunate there for Oswaldo's defendant. Pretty well all day. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Didn't see the incident, so I can't comment. As West London goes by relatively easily, and MBMA shouldn't be far following. Also good. So we got 2 sets of trains right now. Mitchell also eating out another half second in that gap. Bloodwave is losing out rapidly. Benny 0.4 of a second. Let's see if Benny's able to actually do anything this time. Currently has better tyres than Yusuf does. And he's going to head down the straight. He's going to have no ERS to help him out. And that's mistake number 1, as he is not able to gain anything whatsoever. As now West London gets a shot at Saeed, who goes into pit. I assume Oswaldo's going to follow him. Saeed gets 5 seconds for speed in the pit lane. Oswaldo not of the same fate. Bloodwave only lost 0.2 of a second on this lap. Mitchell gained another 0.2 of a second in a single corner. Well, it was 2.3, now to 1.9. And could be very interesting by the end of this race. Also, Jack, 3.6 seconds. I think Jack is very much settled into the point that he is going to end on the bottom step of this podium. Big Turn's also losing out massively to Rigo, who's possibly found his stride again. Mitchell 0.3 of a second slower than his fastest lap so far. Yellow flag in sector 2 is a McLaren, so that's MBMA that's gone round, and he's without a front wing. So many front wings gone off, yet no safety cars, whereas we got one incident the entirety of Thursday and they brought it out. Benny still not close enough to Mildy, well, to Yusuf to do anything, and Mildy the same for Benny in front of him. Mitchell now 1.6 seconds. It's coming down, but is it coming down fast enough? Let's say 1.6 immediately goes to 1.4, so every single time they hit a big corner on the track, Mitchell seems to take a tenth or two out of that time. MBMA into the pits, speeding in the pit lane as well, and he's out the session entirely. And jumps Saeed and Ozardo to the 2 places without a point today. Well, they're still not close enough to get the job done. Same with Benny, who's now 8 tenths of a second behind the Alfa Romeo in front of him, and has to find a solution quickly. Mitchell and Bloodwave fighting it out. Not really a lot in that time right now, and Mitchell didn't gain an awful lot on that last lap either, and the mediums may be starting to wear out. Alvarado getting past Saeed. Those two go side by side. I think, actually, Alvardo's going to get it done. Alvardo is going to get it done. That's pretty nicely done by the Tier 2 driver. Maybe Saeed only able to promote himself to Tier 3 at the end of this. Benny still way too far away. Mitchell not close enough yet either. 1.2 seconds away. Yellow flag in sector 2, and Jack's got off! And he's thrown away what could have been a podium on an unforced error. And now he's going to fight with Rigo, who had his own unforced error earlier on. Unless he's able to slot himself back towards where Samet is, he's got a gap to close now. A gap similar to what Mitchell had at the beginning of the lap. Mitchell losing 2 tenths of a second in a corner there, but gains it back through 13. And now it's just about a second splitting the both. Saeed versus Oswaldo goes towards turn 1. Oswaldo on the inside of turn 1 gets it done before turn 2 even gets questioned in. It's pretty well done him to also get DRS, and Saeed's in trouble there. So Oswaldo gets that move done pretty easily. Also, Milty way off the back of Benny now, out of DRS. So Benny can stop looking behind and start looking at Yusuf and see if he can get it done. Mitchell lost 2 tenths of a second down towards, well, through the first sector. Has just not had his day so far. 31.8 there for Benny as he closes in on Yusuf in front of him. Mildy losing time rapidly. Not really able to do an awful lot there, and Benny loses time through turn 1 and turn 2. And now he's going to have the DRS to close it in again through turn 3 and then up towards turn 4. Jack also within DRS range of Samet as he's trying to recover his own mistake. They're going towards the end of the race. 5 laps left. Medium tyres on 8 laps, 8 laps old versus the 12 lap old hard tyres. Still ever so slightly going in the favour of the medium tyres right now, but Mitchell is running out of time to get this to work. Saeed versus Oswaldo back towards turn 1 again. It looks like Saeed's going to be able to get it done this time. They're going to go side by side. Saeed at the inside line to turn 2. Switchback attempt here by Oswaldo. And Oswaldo, look at that again against Saeed, albeit a tier 4 driver. Oswaldo defending this stoutly again. He's had the people numbered through turn 1 especially today, and albeit he's just been defensively incredible. Doesn't have enough pace to show for it though. Benny gets past Yusuf after what feels like an eternity of trying, and gets up to 7th place. It's pretty nicely done there from Benny, but he's got to hold off Yusuf for a lap or 2 extra. Never mind, Yusuf still had the penalty though. Mitchell now within DRS, or was for a split second. Maybe he's still got it. Mitchell has got it down the straight. I think he had anyway, or he's gonna gain a lot of time regardless. Here comes Jack with the DRS of his own against Samet as he looks to push on for a podium place. with 4.5 laps to go on lap 25 of 29. It's 0.4 of a second split in here, 0.3 of a second split in Yusuf and Benny. It's not even 0.3 of a second split in Yusuf and Benny anymore, 0.6 at the front. Mitchell versus Bloodwave. Bloodwave is going to try and move out of the way to stop the tow, but it's not going to stop the time coming down here for Mitchell, who's now within half a second. Down they go down towards turn 1, just not this lap. Bloodwave is running out of time. He's running out of time very quickly. Here comes Jack against Samet. Those medium tyres still clearly have enough life left in them. Jack against Samet down towards turn 1. Jack's going to hold off for turn 2. And Jack gets the move done at the moment. Has to use some of his ERS, non-existent ERS, to get the move to stick. Yusuf versus Benny, and Yusuf has outwitted Benny into turn 1. And what felt like an eternity for Benny to get through once is all of a sudden his battle all over again. He's got to get it done. He's actually got to stick with it at one point as well. Here comes Mitchell with the DRS, and the longer this goes, the more you think this is going to be game over. You're just waiting for Mitchell to get past Bloodwave here, and I think you could call it game. Can Bloodwave hold on? He's got 4/10 in the bank. He hasn't even got 4/10 in the bank now. It's 3.5. It's 3/10 as they go through the final corner. Mitchell loses another 10th in the final corner. It's 4/10 splitting. They go down the straight. The DRS has now been enabled. Mitchell closing in. The time's coming down. It's now within 3. It's now within 1/4 of a second. Mitchell looks to the inside but doesn't make the move. And, well, Bloodwave is going to hold on for a slight bit longer. He's going to get DRS again here, but he's not going to make the move down to turn 4, I don't think. Mitchell knows wiser than to do that. And Mitchell maybe buying himself some time, but at the same time playing a risky game. He's got to get in front sooner rather than later. The reason why he's tier 1 champion. Mitchell can't let me see what that's. Hello, Stal. Let me see what the rest of that said. It cut off halfway through. Mitchell half a 10th now, or half a second, sorry, behind. As he's just trying to hang in there now. He needs to get Mitchell can't get enough of this game. That's fair. I don't know why. But yeah, Mitchell's just trying to buy himself some time. He's lost a lot of it since the beginning of the lap. He's now half a second behind Bloodwave, and he's closing it in as the time goes along. Mitchell half a second down on his best lap. Mitchell now within 3.5 He's got to get turn 1 right. He's got to get sector 1 right. He's only got this and one more attempt, realistically, lap 29. You aren't going to be able to do anything during the lap, so you've got to get it done at the end of this lap right now. So let's see if Mitchell can get it done. Can Mitchell stop Bloodwave from winning the race? Samet also now within within DRS range of Jack. He's running out of time for a podium spot. Mitchell now within half a second again. Well, outside of half a second, and he's losing time through the corners. Bloodwave may be able to hold this for just about long enough. It's 4.5 up the hill they go. Mitchell just a little bit quicker. Was up until they hit 12, and now through 13. Mitchell gaining a little bit of time. He's only half a tenth slower than his fastest lap. He's got to get it nailed down. He's got within 3. He's got within 1/4 of a second now. And this might be it. Mitchell might have timed this to perfection. Goes through the final corner, loses a 10th. It's 3/10 splitting. It's still got a gap a little bit more than what Mitchell may have wanted. He set a fastest sector 3 though, as he goes down towards turn 1 to the inside. And he looks to it. He doesn't get it to the inside. And Mitchell gonna have the DRS, and it's realistically his last shot, this. Realistically last shot, going towards turn 4, doesn't bite. And that might be game, set, and match. That might be game over. He has ever so slightly more of the ERS than Bloodwave, but he is running out of time at a considerable rate. It's 4 tenths of a second, 3 tenths of a second, going through the hairpin. He got to get this right. And he didn't get it right. He'd lost a tenth and a half, gained a little bit of it back, or most of it back on the exit. In with the DRS, looks for it in turn 11. Doesn't get it at turn 11, and he's running out of time. Bloodwave, well, albeit he started on pole and had arguably the easiest race he could have had up until now. Whereas Mitchell, the Tier 1 champion, 3 times in a row, started in 13th. And has got all the way to the front. He's got one corner to try this now. He's not going to get enough of DRS. And it's going to be Bloodwave's day. The Tier 2 driver actually wins the Tier 2 race, holding off Tier 1 champion from 13th. Just about does it with about 2/4 of a second in hand. Bloodwave first, wins in Bahrain. Mitchell comes second. Jack just about scrapes over the line for a podium after his own mistake. Samet comes over in 4th. Rigo in 5th after his unforced error. Benny in 6th after a hungover race is pretty admirable, especially when he started in 12th. Yusuf in 7th. Big Turns is going to come over in 8th after a relatively lackluster day for him. Mildy's going to come over in 9th after I don't know what he was doing in the second stint. Also has no front wing. Yeah, I guess that counts. West London day just went from bad to worse after he made the mistake on Osvaldo, and he's looking for a fastest lap as a consolation. Attack on one more to his points haul for the day. Can he get the fastest lap? Smatters has left the session, so he's been spectator this entire time. Interesting choice. It looks like West London able to get it. West London's able to get it. Up to in 10th and got the fastest lap as well. Osvaldo to the line. He's going to be able to beat out Saeed in the end after these two came together. Well, Osvaldo had a pretty fun time there by the looks of things, defending from literally everyone in sight. Mitchell's the game driver of the day. Definitely would have won if he'd done a qualifying time, that's for sure. But that's a guess. That's why he's Tier 1. Bloodwave should also be Tier 1, but decided to run away because he couldn't handle it. And there you go. That is how the final race of the season has ended. Ferrari on top. They won the Constructors. They bottled away the championship. And nonetheless, that brings the season to a close. That does bring the season to a close there at Bahrain. It doesn't quite bring the actual game to a close though. Everyone on West London by an entire second. We still have one more F1 2022 race to come. Next Thursday, we got ourselves a race of champions until end off basically the entire game. That'll be the last bit of action we get for F1 2022 before F1 2023 comes out in a month or just over. But until then, that's goodbye from me. Peace.